Hi guys, welcome back to Jace Love Strength. I'm putting a video out here today because I owe you guys some content. And it's going to be basically to let you guys know about my personal training goals, what my plans are coming up, and also you're going to get to hear me rant about some of my gym pet peeves. Let me just start with the first pet peeve I have, and that is being upset at myself when I do stupid things. I just did this entire rant moments ago. And then once I was done with this $1 million take, I realized that I never pressed record. I wish I could say I was making that up, but it's true. I didn't press record. So I've got to do this again. And there's no way I'm going to have the same passion that I had a moment ago, which that video was pretty rough. I mean, I came hard and heavy with the pet peeves. There was extra heavy duty on the lecture status. So maybe it's in my best interest because I might have lost half of my audience. They may have never came back. They would have been like, geez, Jace, you don't have to be such a jerk. But I'm going to try to be a jerk again. So let's go ahead and start, though, with my training goals. All right. So I'm 46 years old. I'll be 47 at the end of the year. I have decided that I am going to cut all the way down to 185 pounds. For those of you who are interested, right now I weigh about 220. So I'm about 220 pounds. I want to get all the way down to 185. I haven't decided if I'm going to shoot for that for the end of the year or if I'm going to grant myself a little grace to take longer to get there. But the end goal is my walking around weight is going to be about 185 pounds. Do I think that's going to be a challenge? Yes, but not physically. I don't think it'll be a physical challenge for me. I'm pretty darn good at setting goals in the weight room and fulfilling and meeting those goals. I'm pretty successful at lifting. I have a long track record of doing that. What I don't have a long track record with is actually being kind to myself and seeing myself in a positive light. I'm only 5'4", and the world gives me a hard time about how small I am because apparently one of the worst things that you can do as an adult male is be small. I am quite literally a lesser male, physically speaking, and our society acts like if you are lesser physically, you're just lesser, period. Now, my height has never ever bothered me. It doesn't bother me at all. But it seems to bother a lot of other people. And a lot of other people are always very interested in how short I am and giving me a hard time about it. And so I'm not bothered by my height. I sometimes am bothered by the fact that it bothers other people. Okay, so anyway, having said all of that, being short doesn't bother me. What does bother me is being seen as small and weak. So when I say small, I don't mean height wise. I mean small as in small frame, right? Not wide, not massive. And so for my 45th birthday, I decided that I was going to give myself a birthday gift, a healthy gift, and to aesthetically see what I could do. I hadn't been below 225 pounds in probably 15 to 18 years. And I decided for my 45th birthday, I was going to step on the scale at 205 pounds. I made my goal. Now, when I did that, everyone at the gym was complimentary. Everyone said really flattering things. And they talked about not only how great I looked, but they would talk about how I actually looked more massive, muscular wise, than I did when I was 240, 245 pounds. Now, the reason for that was I smaller? Yes, quite literally, I was a lot smaller. But when we see a big guy who also has a belly and he's carrying extra padding and weight, we don't really think of him sometimes as being really muscular. We just think of him as a fat boy. And I was a strong fat boy. As I started to tone up and the fat melted away, they could see my tone, they could see the muscles, and they're like, dude, you look big. And I appreciated that, but I had trouble seeing that when I looked in the mirror. I suffered from that whole body dysmorphia thing. As my weight went below 220, 215, 210, I had to really, really convince myself to fulfill my 205 birthday goal. I wanted to stop, not because it was hard at the gym, but because I did not like the way I looked in the mirror. I started thinking, man, I look really weak. I look like a great big sissy. I am about as wimpy as a human being can be right now. Now, others thought that I looked huge, but to me, I was tiny. And so, if I'm going to get down to 185 pounds, I suspect that is going to be the hardest obstacle for me to overcome. I know I will be healthier. I know I will feel better. I will probably look pretty decent, but it's not going to be an aesthetic that I want because I'm just going to be thinking, man, you look really tiny. That's going to be tough for me. So I need your help, guys. I need you guys to let me know that, Jace, you don't look as wimpy and small and tiny and pathetic as you think you do. It will be hard for me. It'll be a struggle. So that's the long term goal, to get down to 185. But it's not just about my weight, it's not just about my aesthetics. I have decided that I'm still going to compete. Or maybe not still going to compete. I'm going to return to competition. I am going to take one more powerlifting contest, and I am going to not take it until I get my body weight down to that goal, 185 pounds. The lowest that I have ever weighed in a powerlifting competition was 212 pounds. So this will be by far, the lightest I've ever weighed in a powerlifting contest. So that's pretty nice. I'm doing one of those, and that's what I'm committed to. I might do two, but I'm thinking just one because I just want to do one more just to say that I have and can. What I'm committed to doing the one. What I'm less committed to, but still might do, is the Jace Man might return to regional strongman. I might do one more strongman competition. And if I do, I'm gonna wait until I lose a little bit more weight too. It's gonna be the first strongman competition that I will have ever competed in the under 105 class. So it'll be under 105 kilograms. I've never done that before. Now, when I first started, the very first strongman contest I went to, I think I weighed right around 105. That being said, I might have been a little bit under, I might have been a little bit over, but at that competition and none of the competitions I went to, we really didn't have a 105 class. It was just everybody showed up and competed against one another. There were very, very small shows, didn't have a lot of different divisions. There weren't a whole lot of people competing. Um, so I didn't really have that. The sport's grown enough now that I think that I'm going to go and I'm going to compete with guys my size. So instead of competing against guys who are 6'4", 350 pounds, I'm going to compete alongside guys who are 180 to 200 pounds. And I'm going to see how I fare even at the age of 46, 47 years. So wish me luck and encourage me if you want to see me do that. If you want to see me return to strongman, if you'd like to see some contest footage, let me know. And that will encourage me to go from I'm thinking about it to, okay, let's do this. But whether I do the strongman or not, I am committed. I am doing at least a minimum of one more powerlifting competition, and it will be the first time that I will have ever competed under 200 pounds. So, kind of excited, kind of nervous, kind of scared. So that's the training goals. And in addition to that, I have some strength and lifting goals. So you guys might want to know, and you have asked before, and we've talked about this in several different videos, what are my best lifts, like my powerlifting PRs? What's the best I've ever done? So we'll go through them real quick. My all-time best deadlift is 720 pounds. I did that at a body weight of around 240, 245. I don't know exactly what I weighed, but it was in that 240 to 245 range. So 720 pounds is my all-time best deadlift. My all-time best squat is 685 pounds. And my all-time best bench press is 435 pounds. All of these were in when my body weight was around 240. So 240 was when I lifted the most weight. 720 deadlift, 685 squat, 435 bench. I can do nothing close to that right now. Nothing close. Right now, I'm only deadlifting around 520 pounds. That's it, just a little over 500 pounds. My squat right now is only around 450 to 460. And my bench, it's really only like 335 to 340. I might be able to do 360, but I doubt it. I have not really been lifting heavy. As you guys know, the last couple of years, I haven't been able to train the way that I like to. It's been very sporadic. I've been sick a lot. My strength has suffered a great deal, a great deal. And I don't hide that. So I am far away from my best numbers, and I'm a lot older than I was when I did those things too. So I'm not looking to get back to my prime. I'm not looking to set PRs at this stage. What I do want to do is, now that I'm training consistently again, now that I'm back in the gym on a full-time basis, I believe that I can get stronger than I am right now, even as I lose weight. And that's really what I want to do. Is I don't want to find myself losing weight and find myself getting weaker at the same time. That's usually what happens. But because my strength has been so far north of where it is now, I think I can do this. I think I can simultaneously get stronger and lose weight. And that's what I'm going to try to do. So when I go to my powerlifting contest, here's what I'm shooting for. I want to have around a 640-pound deadlift. Okay. I want to be able to squat 600 pounds. And I want to have my bench press around 365 to 370. That's what I want. And again, that'll be at a body weight of 185 pounds. The only number there that seems really super doable for me is bench press. I was always a good bencher. I'm not that far away from that. I can probably do that. The squat and deadlift seem much, much tougher. But I can do it. And you guys are going to help me do it by being encouragement to me and letting me know that I can do it. So I'm far away from my best numbers right now, but we're going to do that. We are going to lift more than we are right now, considerably more than I am right now, even while watching my body weight go down. We're doing it. We're doing it. So there you go. You guys know that I don't like to talk about my own training. I don't like to show a lot of footage of that. Not because I'm afraid of that or whatever, but because I've always told you guys, I want this channel to be me covering the athletes that I admire, covering the sport, and showing that it's about them, not about me. But you guys care about me, and I'm the face of the channel, so you guys always ask. So I thought you might be interested in the goals. Now that you know them, you can also keep me accountable and ask about it on the journey. So now you have your permission, my permission, to actually say, okay, Jace, you said you're doing it. Where are you at? Are you going to show us any clips? Or are you going to do... You got every right to ask now. So there you have it. All right. Now that we got the goals out of the way, let's talk about the stuff that I ranted about in the first time that I did this video and forgot to press record. It was Jace covers his gym pet peeves. And this is inspired by a video I watched earlier today. And so what was that video? What was that inspiration today? Well, the Moose, Mitchell Hooper, posted a video of him maxing out all of the machines at the gym. And then seeing how many reps he could do with them at the max weight. I watched the video, and there was a part in the video where I think it was in jest, but maybe it was serious, maybe it was in jest, I don't know. But it didn't matter. It did allow me to be like, oh, that's such a pet peeve of mine. And so Hooper was talking about, he was midway through his workout, the heart's pumping, he's working hard, he's exhausted, he's hurting, but he makes a comment that he says, we've reached the point in the workout now where we're sweaty enough to spray and wipe down the machines. And I thought, oh, Moose, not okay, dude. You should wipe down the machines every time you use them. I don't want to hear, I wasn't working that hard, I wasn't sweaty enough. No, wipe down the freaking machines. You used it, wipe it down. You're supposed to do that. It's not just because you want to wipe sweat. It's because you're using it. And you, believe it or not, you're actually going to have germs on you. You're actually going to be spreading that around. This is very important to me, especially as a guy who almost went blind due to getting an infection at the gym. The bacteria began because I picked up an infection from the gym from people not cleaning up after themselves. They have stuff, they don't clean it, I touch it, I mistakenly touch my eye, which you're not supposed to do, but sometimes if something's bothering your eye, it's kind of a natural reaction. And it's kept me very, very sick for the last couple years. It's made it so that I couldn't train. It's made it so that I couldn't create content for you guys. I couldn't cover the sport. I spent an inordinate amount of time in the hospital. And it all began due to a bacterial infection that I picked up at the gym because people were too big of slobs to clean up after themselves, because they didn't care about having a sanitary work environment for the other lifters in the gym, because we just think about ourselves. Me, 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 me. So, again, I don't know if he was being cheeky. I don't know if he's like, okay, I guess I'm sweaty enough that I can wipe it down. But what I'm saying is, wipe down the equipment if you use it. I don't care if you're a 400-pound bencher and you do 135 for 5 reps, which is the easiest thing in the world for you. You sat down, so when you get up, spray it and wipe it off. It doesn't take much time, it doesn't take much effort, but there's going to be someone coming in behind you. Show that you care about them. Which all of these pet peeves are about the same kind of topic. It's about being considerate, not being selfish, realizing that you're not the only person in the gym. So that was the first one I led with because it was the inspiration for this video. When the Moose said it, I was like, oh, I gotta address this topic. But it's not Jace's number one pet peeve at the gym. We're gonna talk about my number one pet peeve at the gym right now. So you guys might be the people I'm talking about, and you might be about ready to get very mad at me. And if you are, then I'm gonna say, so what? Be mad. I don't care. I'm speaking from the heart here. So what is my number one pet peeve? My number one pet peeve at the gym, what I can't stand above anything else, is when people refuse to put their plates away. I hate it. I find it unacceptable, inexcusable. I feel like if you were able to load the equipment up, if you were able to load the bar up, then you're able to clear it. And you shouldn't expect other people at the gym, whether it's the employees or other lifters, to act like your mama and you're a 9-year-old kid that needs to be picked up after. No, it's your responsibility. If you could load it, you can clear it. And at my gym, when I see the young guys who are usually the culprits of this, although the people at my gym are getting worse at it, not better, I'm almost feeling like the more I talk about it, the people are starting to get where they leave the plates on there more, maybe just to spite me. Maybe it's like, oh gosh, it's that old guy being grumpy again. And now they're doing it intentional. I was kind of hoping that by harping at them, the problem would get better. It's not getting better, it's getting worse. So I'm getting louder about it. But that being said, why it bothers me, especially at the gym, is that, again, I just think you should do that. You should be considerate, not be selfish. But one of the things is who's at the gym at what times. And what happens is at my gym that I go to, it's usually the young people that are in there lifting when it gets late. I'd say no, I'd say around 10 p.m. to 12 p.m. You've got guys in there 18 to 24. They go in there and they get a late night workout in. And then pretty much the gym is empty until around 5 a.m. And at 5 a.m., who comes in? It's usually our senior citizens. It's gentlemen who are 75 to 80 years old and women the same age. They're coming in there to get a workout because the doctor has told them that they need to do that. And why this makes me so mad is if you go ahead and you stick a bunch of 45-pound plates on a leg press machine or a hack squat machine or something like that, those seniors can't come in and lift that. But it's not only that they can't lift it, it's that they can't even pick up the 45-pound plates to remove them from the machine to use the machine. You, by being selfish and by being lazy and by thinking of only yourself, you have basically said, I have a right to use this machine, and you don't. Because when they come in at 5 a.m., they can't take it down to the weight that they need, either a single 45 on each side or even less than that. Maybe they can only have a 10 on each side or a 25 on each side. To do that, they have to take everything off. Some of the old gentlemen can do that, probably the majority of them, but not all of them. And virtually none of our senior ladies can hold those 45-pound plates and take them on and off the machines. To me, you're a real jerk if you loaded it up and you don't think about them. So it's not uncommon for me to drive to the gym at around midnight and look to see who has left stuff on the equipment and then go ahead and clear the machines just for our seniors to come in and be able to use the stuff in the morning. I shouldn't have to do that, but I do it because I want and feel like the seniors should be able to come in and use the same equipment that I use, the same equipment that they use. Similarly, about the second thing is just like the weights, except we're not talking about weights that the old people can't pick up or use because they're too heavy and you should have cleaned up after yourself. But it goes to the same thing about not picking up after yourself. The other thing that I don't like around the gym is we'll have machines, especially like our cable machines, and there'll be a bunch of accessories there that are stored at the cable machines. Well, a lot of times people will take the accessories. I'm one of these people, and decide I could actually use this some other place on another machine. I could use this to do some really creative and clever stuff. And they'll take that accessory and they'll use it. I got no problem with you taking it and using it. But if you're going to take it, put it back where you got it. Put it back where you got it. Don't take it and just leave it in some random spot where you decided to use it where it doesn't belong. Because, again, you're not the only person there. And what's going to happen is they're going to go in there, they're going to go to the cable machine expecting to find the accessories there. They're going to go to the station and expect to find the accessories that belong there. And they're not going to find them. And they're either going to give up and decide, I guess I can't do this today. Or they're going to be stuck walking around the gym, looking everywhere to find the equipment that they need that would have taken you 20 seconds to put away. But since you didn't do it because you're too selfish, they have to go find it now. So yeah, this stuff bothers me. And when I see the young guys at the gym, I put them in check. I say, hey, young blood, you need to put that away. You need to put your weights away. Don't leave them there. It's other people are going to come in and they're not strong enough to put that away. You put it on there. You do something about it. Hey, I saw that you put those grips. You took them over there to the lat pull down machine. That's fine. Go put the grips back up. So I harp at them, and they usually roll their eyes at me, but they'll do it because I just told them to. But when I'm not there, I guess they just ignore it and just leave it. So I'll go in at the middle. I'll go in at midnight, and I'll put stuff away. I'll clean up. It's not my gym. I don't work there, but I'm just thinking that there are other people who are going to come in the morning and should have a right to use the gym as much as I do. So yeah, Jace is whining. There's my pet peeves. You heard them. Now I'll also give you guys a tip. And this is sometimes what I tell the young guys. They don't want to put their 45 pounds of weights away. And when I ask them about it, sometimes they're like, I'm tired, man. I've already lifted a bunch. And I'm like, if you had the energy to lift it, you have the energy to put it away. And if you don't have the energy to put it away, then maybe you shouldn't go to failure on that last set. Save a little bit of energy. The energy that you think that you need to put the stuff away, that's when you should stop. But for those that do clear it, you could actually turn putting the plates away into extra exercise and a bit of a game. I do this all the time. I gamify putting my plates away. So it has been, a lot of people compliment my triceps, and they'll say that that's the best muscle I have. It's the largest muscle I have in terms of comparison to what's average, and I've got a pretty strong set of triceps. And a lot of people ask me what I do to train my triceps. Well, you guys get to look behind the curtain right now. What do I do to train my triceps? I really don't. I don't. I do a lot of dips. That's about the only thing that I work on for that. But the size in my triceps and the training in my triceps comes from me not doing a lot of tricep work. It actually comes from all of the plates that I put on the hack squat machine, and all of the plates that I put on the leg press machine, and all the plates that I load up on the squat bar and everything else. I put them away. I mean, I load them up. That means I got to put them away. So what I do is for every time I'm finished, I pull the plate off and I just pop off a bunch of these guys. 10 to 12 per 45-pound plate. And when you've got 20 to 24 plates on a machine, you put those away. By the time you get those away, you are going to hate life. But your triceps will be beaten to death, and they will have some explosive growth. So a lot of times people are like, man, what do you do for those? And I'm like, I put plates away. That's my secret. I put the equipment away that I use, and that made my triceps get big. So, all right. This was take 2. I don't know if I sounded as grumpy as I did in the first take, more grumpy or whatever, but you guys don't know either because I didn't press record. Still can't believe I didn't press record, but I didn't. But I pressed record this time. I'm going to upload this video and we'll see how much my subscriber count drops. But if you're not a subscriber and you don't hate my guts for telling you my pet peeves, press subscribe now. Hit like. Go to the comments and tell me off. Or say, Jace, I absolutely agree. People should think about people other than themselves. And if you're still here and you haven't left a comment yet, go ahead and go down to the comments and tell the Moose, Mitchell Hooper, spray down the machine. Wipe it off. I don't care if you're sweaty or not. Jace is right. Clean the machine. Because we don't need people like Jace getting sick at the gym. We don't need bacterial infections making Jace go blind, and we don't need our homeboy Jace being at the hospital anymore, Hooper. So clean the equipment, Hooper. I'm watching you, Moose. I'm watching you. Clean the equipment, dude. Okay? All right, guys. That's all for Jace Lift Strength. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.